I came in there with that. I found the back entrance. Yeah, and they really like you. Well, alright, I'll take it. Excuse me. Abritus. I mean, all blood rocks abound. That was close. I did not expect her to call beyond me there. I'm glad I managed. I'm glad I went ballsy strats. I probably would have died. I mean, it didn't kill me otherwise, so there's a possibility it would have. But still, like, glad I went ballsy. fetid is. Yeah, we are done with those now. We're doing that now. I need a bunch of red jelly. Wait, what? Oh, I've been... Oh, whoops. I thought it was the other way around. That's right. No, it's not. It's I trade in materials to get Arcane Haze. I've been reading that wrong. I just read that wrong. You can tell I just had a brain fart moment there. When I knew that whole time, this whole time, that's what you do. You trade materials for Arcane Haze, not the other way around. But for some reason, I was like, oh, I got Arcane Haze, or I got materials and Arcane Haze, right? It's alright. Red jelly's not hard to come by. I just had a brain fart moment. Oh my god. I feel like a complete dumbass for that one. Whatever. Well, what's the point if I have it? Poo. Well, those are going to be annoying to get because there's not a lot of them. That's what I just did, thinking it's the other way around for a second. When I know it's for Arcane Haze, I just... I'm glad I'm not the only one that did that. Someone in this guy's comments section said the same thing. Oops. That's alright. Brain fart moment. jealous. I mean, I could. Great Days Layer 3, there's nothing more. Then I have to do it twice. Well, I feel like a dumbass. You know. Oh, I'm offline. Ugh. Ah. That's what I get. It's honestly what I get for selling. I only need 4, but still, I would have had it. Unless I can go online and just make that dungeon. I think I need to have made it before, though. I need to make it to layer 3. It's not a problem. Sorry about this, guys. Did not mean for me to be such a derp and a freaking idiot. Thinking. It's called Arcane Haze Extractor, and for some reason I was like, oh, I'll just make red jelly and Arcane Haze in it. Wait, no, it's the other way around. Hit hard if I let you. Hold up. Follow the boulder. That's quick. That's a quick 2. Alright, cool. Just gotta make Hey, Supply. Sorry if I missed your message. I was busy rushing through a chalice dungeon because I made a mistake and accidentally sold some shit that I needed. You don't stick around for long, do you? Stick around, man. I'll eventually read it. Sorry. Sorry to hear that. Come on, guys. I feel like you're really just doing that to stop me from playing. I did not think everyone was going to be spamming it. It's fun to do, but when you start doing them in succession, it becomes tiresome. I can't fake stretch. Like, I did it thinking it'd be fun, but then you guys just spam multiple of them. Refresh the video? I don't really know, man. I really don't know what to say. Nice. You just don't message anybody, and if you do, just don't say shit. Don't be an asshole. I know they're probably being an asshole to you too, but just ignore it. I don't know what went down, but you obviously said something and they reported you. It says right there, and it's not really. Because you said something you shouldn't have and they reported you. That's how all of the consoles work. And Steam, they have these things for a reason. You can do the same to them by reporting them and giving them proof of what they said to you. It's really not. It's bullshit, because yeah, it happened to you. I'm sure I'd say the same if it happened to me. But then I would look back and be like, oh, I said this because I was a dick. Yeah, it was my fault. Just saying. If they did that for no reason and you got suspended, then yeah, I could say it being bullshit, but one of your messages did have you being kind of mean. Most of the night, what were you doing prior to that? Or during it? You have messages that you showed us. You got suspended for a reason, Supply. They're not gonna just sit there and say you didn't. You showed us proof that you actually said some things in your message that you shouldn't have. I'm just saying. And also, most of the night. That proves that you weren't doing something for that other prior amounts of time. Okay. But you're not getting to the point. The point is you messaged things to somebody. You even showed us the list of your messages. Whether or not these messages were older, it still happened. You can be doing literally one thing and still get suspended for it. It may not happen right away. That's what I meant by older. It may not happen right away, dude. I don't know, man. It may not happen right away. It takes them time for them to review the message. It's not going to be immediate. You kept to yourself on GTA. That means that you haven't in prior times. You are literally stating the fact to me right now that you have messaged people and said things in the past. There you go. I'm not trying to be a dick, but you're complaining that it's bullshit. I get it, but you did it to yourself. Like Tom said, if you get into a fight at school with a bully and defend yourself, you're gonna get suspended too. And that may seem like bullshit, but it's actually not. Because they can't just suspend one person because they don't know exactly what went down. For all you know, the bully that you're defending yourself against could be very well be the person you're bullying. Oh shit, have you been here? Chocolate chip? I know you said you were quiet, but sometimes Twitch doesn't show people in my list. Because sometimes when I see it's very quiet, I tend to see who's still here, and it didn't show you. So you saw me be... Oh, God. You saw me derp and accidentally get rid of my red jelly, huh? Derp moments, but that's alright, it happens. I don't know why Twitch does that, though. Sometimes it'll just be like, oh, you have this amount of people, and then none. And then it's just like, half the time they're there still, and it doesn't give you that view for some reason. So I literally thought that you guys left. Like, Hitwoman, yeah, I can understand maybe she taken off due to time zone, or maybe she just got fed up with me or something. I don't know. I doubt that, but that's just my anxiety thinking that. But, like, literally not long after you stating that you were lurking, you didn't appear on my list. And now you are. I'm very confused. Twitch bothers me when it does that. But yes, goodbye, Emissary again, yeah. Sorry about being very silent. Most of that. I did see the derp happen. Turned my phone screen off for a bit to help. Ah, okay. I was wondering what happened. So Twitch wasn't being stupid. It was, yeah, you actually were doing something else. Okay. I thought that you left. I was just very confused because normally you're there most of the time, and I just got very confused as to what happened there. Ritual Blood 5s. Man, they are just making me farm. Maybe I shouldn't have. Did I get rid of those Ritual Blood 5s? I did, didn't I? Well, I need 25 more Arcane Haze. Yeah, I know that it's Arcane Extractor or Arcane Haze Extractor, but for some reason my brain was like, I need red jelly. Oh. No, I need Ritual Blood. Yay. Loron depth 4. Alien Loron? That's 2. How many do I have? I have 5, 6. That'd be 8. No. Main done. Oddly enough, quick. But I need cold flower. Cold blood. Oh my god, I just need everything. Let's buy 17 of them. Fuck it. God, I don't get what's the point of being able to buy the other items once you make the chalice. Ailing Loron is it the roots? Okay. You can get 2 times virtual blood every 3 minutes, including blood experience search. Ignore the mobs. Yeah, I know I can easily search, but I'll just make it. I mean, I have enough. It took me off, so I was inching my way back to the phone. Isn't so you can make random. Yeah, I could make fetid, rotted, and cursed. But I'm not online right now. I clicked offline. But I could easily search. And that's alright. I'm not going very far. I just gotta find out where that is exactly. And that's why I got a video. Okay. Right here. Okay. I would have, if I didn't derp and fucked up there because my brain, my exhausted brain, I would have only have needed to go to the stupid and got me another fucking red jelly and I would have had it. But I fucked up making this farm even more unnecessary than it has to be. Because now I have to farm this, I have to farm that, on top of the jelly that I had to farm. That's okay, it happens. That's the first time I've done that with Arcane Haze, though. I've never done that before, because I know it literally states Arcane Haze Extractor. But I was in such a rush that I was like, give me red jelly. Oh, I just used mine. But yeah, the shared fixed thing, yeah, that makes it so you can search it. With a fixed glyph. Online with a friend, but I get blown up by people on flying motorcycles. I was never too big on GTA. I just don't like... Everyone I watch play it just kills people. They never really do the missions. And, like, I've just never really enjoyed those games. I don't like the running. I don't like the fighting or combat, I guess, if you will. I don't really care for a lot of the missions, because mission-based games aren't really my thing to an extent. I like some games that have, like, missions. But, like, I don't know. Just not really into a lot of... And just, I also just don't like the feeling of the gameplay to me. I don't like Rockstar's method of running is where you just repeatedly tap the button. And Red Dead Redemption was fun for what it tried. I just couldn't get into it. No. I have not played any of The Witcher. And no, it was not requested, no. I mean, if you want me to, once my requests open up again, you're free to request me to play The Witcher. Keep in mind, though, if you select 3, I'm playing through all of them. I hear mixed things about Witcher 1, 2, and 3. I hear that 3 is like the best, but I also hear mixed reviews on that as well. I've never played any of The Witcher. It just never seemed to intrigue me, nor have I really watched a lot of gameplay on it, but it's just... the whole... just... I don't know. I like big open maps to explore and such, but I get lost and only care about that. Yes, too full of story for me. Yeah, I love story in games, but I don't want a game that's just all about story and a lot of just mission stuff. That's why MMOs and me don't click, because a lot of it's just exposition. Like, while I do like that, and a lot of it can just be you can fuck the story and just go and fight, and that's what I would prefer, and that's why Phantasy Star Online 2 and me don't really click as much as the original, because the original is just... You want some missions? Here you go. Do you want to just go off and fight enemies and just farm shit? Here you go. Very little exposition. PSO2 is just all about dialogue and NPC interaction and story stuff, and it's just blah. In fact, PSO2's story is... a lot of it's in missions, and you don't even have to do that. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you play PSO offline... the first thing you're gonna get is by a character who basically tells you what what you're gonna be doing on your adventure. Basically just going around slaying monsters and searching these areas. He's gonna basically tell you his daughter is missing. And you have to go find... his daughter was a hunter. Which is where my stream channel comes from, the Hunters Guild. Whenever I say thank you for joining the Hunters Guild for a follow. PSO's thing is there's a group of explorers and they're all known as hunters, not like... because PSO is divided up into 3 classes. You got your hunter, your ranger, and your force. Now when I say Hunters Guild, it just means everyone. It doesn't just mean a specific set of what you like to use, because hunters are technically your physical combat. So when I say Hunters Guild, it's like welcome to the guild of just people who are into that in general. So, basically, the guy tells you to go find his missing child. You end up encountering her in the future, but you find out that she was taken over by the final boss of that episode, because there's 2 episodes. Each with their own unique areas and bosses. And then you basically tell him what happened, and he gets sad. And that's basically the extent of all that. You can find out more information on the lore and all that through... item descriptions and little tidbits laying around on the floor. It's kind of like Dark Souls-ish when it comes to item descriptions in a way. Some of it, because weapons and items will give you brief lore. And then there's like little messages left on the floor that you can read that tells you tidbits on the guy's daughter when she was exploring these areas as part of the Hunters Guild. She left messages and notes behind. That's about it. The rest is all the rest I've picked up just by playing the game and reading those and searching facts and stuff. Manhunt. I've never played Manhunt. I watched my ex-girlfriend beat Bully in front of me. It was neat. Not my cup of tea. I think it's one of the better ones, though. Red Dead was fun for what it tried. I enjoy the whole capturing, like, crooks mechanics. I enjoyed skinning animals alive because that's kind of the whole... I don't mind crafting a lot in some games if it's done right. I enjoyed the whole, like, you can get animal skins and such. You get different horses or whatnot. But just the combat annoys me. Like, I think it has the better combat out of that in GTA, but I just never was a big fan of it. And the fact that GTA is kind of open with the more expansive versions of the games And you can kind of just, it's sandboxy is what I'm getting at. And it's not done well enough for me. But no, I'm not a big fan of Rockstar. I never really was. And I mean, I wish I could say I tried the old Max Paynes. I've watched my brother play the original Max Payne. I've watched my brother play the original Grand Theft Auto. I used to have the original Grand Theft Auto. I never really was into either of those. My brother was more into those kind of games. He's also more into the arena shooters or the verses and stuff like that when it comes to like Halo and a lot of those, or you know, PUBG and stuff like that. He also likes Fallout, and I'm not a big fan of a lot of that. Like, Fallout looks interesting, but the last time I literally watched him play Fallout, I fell asleep. Like, it's just the whole creating your town and crafting and all that just it kind of bored the hell out of me. And I love RPGs, don't get me wrong. I'm playing one of them right now, but like just Fallout bored me. I don't know. Zero's into that too, but I just couldn't get into Fallout at all. Well, here we are. Great Sumeru. Time to go fight us a freaking bitch who bleeds all over the hell. And the worst bloodletting beast ever. It's probably going to be the same bloodletting beast type of fight that I had the last time I fought the headless bloodletting beast, but I don't recall ever fighting that other bloodletting headless beast, but the one in this dungeon always gave me trouble. Ow! That's what I get for trying to dash. Like the Fallout games for good and evil choices in the karma system. I'd love to play with a ton of mods. That does sound interesting. I like Fable a lot for the whole medieval character type. You know, art. The whole time period it's placed in is more medieval with stuff like that. And then it also has a good and evil karma choices, because you can be good by doing a bunch of good side missions, because you can do missions that basically get you more renown and you kill a bunch of beasts and save people, or you can be evil and ignore a lot of those missions and just go around killing people and do a lot of the missions that give you negativity towards you and people fear you. Instead of like sit there and praise your name, they'll be fearing you, they'll run from you, guards will come after you. And, you know, you'll be stopped, hounded by all the good people. You'll still fight all the enemies, too, the bad guys. So even if you kill all the bad guys, still, you'll still get good points. But, like, I like that. I like that a lot. When it comes to that. You could also have... You can also get married and have a family. And, like, you can literally cheat on your spouse. That sounds cool. My friend had Fable 2. Yeah, the Xbox. That is correct. It is on 360. I have 1, 2, and 3. I have the original on Xbox, the Fable 1 Anniversary Collection on Xbox 360, and I have 2 and 3 on Xbox 360. And they are very good games. Well, Fable 2 and 3 were 360. The original is Xbox One. Or the original Xbox. Then they came out with the Anniversary Collection, or an HD remaster. which includes the DLC, because Fable 1 had DLC. I'm not sure if the others did. I'm sure it did at some point, but Fable 1 had some DLC. And then they released that into one bundle. But Fable's a very good game. It's also on PC, but the controls are kind of bleh. I have yet to really figure out a good way to make the controls go better. It felt very awkward. I don't think you can get them on PS4. Because I don't think Fable... I'm not sure if... I think Fable 2 and 3 were probably on PS3, but I don't know if you can buy them on PS4. Which would be awesome if you could. My favorite is Fable 3, though. I really enjoyed Fable 3. Weapons evolve with you, depending on how you use them or whatever. It's been a while since I played it, so I really don't remember the whole mechanic behind it, but I really liked that. Fable 2, in my opinion, is the worst one. I have not beaten any of them, by the way. I've come close to beating Fable 3 and Fable 1, but I've never beaten them. But I really love them nonetheless. I plan on playing Fable in the near future, I just don't know when. Yeah, I definitely like having evil choices. I grew up on lots of Disney, so the good guys are kind of cliche. Yeah, I mean, as much as I love anime and stuff like that, I do like some Disney movies, especially the classics I grew up with. I don't really like a lot of modern Disney stuff, but the good guys always wins is predictable. Like, you know Goku's gonna win, or some derivation of the Dragon Ball cast is gonna win. There is no... Like, yeah, with Super, I didn't know what was going to happen with a lot of it, but you still knew that somehow, some way, that there's going to be no issues with the plot. Like, the final arc in the anime is literally called the Universal Survival Arc, where if every universe that runs out of their 10 members, they die. Their entire universe is wiped out. You knew that Universe 7 was going to survive due to the fact that all they're doing is retconning the entire ending of Dragon Ball, leading up to the events at the end of Dragon Ball Z. You knew that everyone was going to survive. And everyone knew that they were just going to make a wish beyond all wish where, oh, I want every universe to be revived again. Then they threw the caveat at you where it's like, okay, well, if you didn't make the wish to revive everybody, we were just going to destroy you anyway. So it's like, well, all right then. Forgot that he does that twice. I mean, I love anime though, but it kind of does get cliche and old. But I like both choices in Fable. Both are very good, and they don't really have much bearing on the story so much. It has more bearing on the gameplay, as people fear you more, or you get certain missions opened up to you if you are good or bad. You get certain missions that you wouldn't otherwise be able to get. And there's stuff like that. Other than that, the ending is kind of still set, but I'm not really a big... I really don't care if certain things aren't like, oh, well, this doesn't have a bearing on a story, or you got, like, 50 different choices that you make that really lead into the same path anyway. I'm not really... That doesn't really bother me. It's like, I'm not going to remember every choice what that leads into anyway if games are like that. Like Dragon Age has that, where it's like, here's 100 different choices that you can make, and here's every route that they can go down. I'm never going to remember that for future playthroughs. And that's what bored me to hell with Dragon Age, and I tried playing Dragon Age, and, like, that's a game I couldn't really get into. I hear they're good, I just couldn't get into it. Too much story is the thing. Like, I love story, but it had too much exposition to me. And I barely even play the game. Like, it was just... The whole choosing your thing was kind of not for me. I could give it another chance, but the whole idea behind choosing choices is not something I'm particularly into. I just like to kill and fight and have fun with boss fights and such. If the game has great gameplay, fun fights, fun bosses, it doesn't need story to me. If it has a good story and with those in mind, fine. If it has great story, great gameplay, and no bosses, that's fine too. Or you could be like Dead Rising 4, take out all the time-based mechanics of Dead Rising, take out all the bosses that Dead Rising has had over the years, and just make it so it's just one big open-world sandbox, and you're just killing zombies. Like, as much as fun as that is to some people, particularly the killing zombies part in Dead Rising was never the thing I loved about Dead Rising. I liked fighting the bosses and rescuing the survivors, and finding all the different weapons. That was the part I loved the most. I rarely ever fought any of the zombies unless they were in my way or for trophies or achievements. Or, you know, because they're in my way to save survivors and such. But, like, yeah, it's fun, but it's not something I want to do and only do. There are psychopaths, like basic humans that you fight, but they're not really bosses. Dead Rising has had just basic grunts that you know, get in your way when you're trying to get somewhere, and they're there to impede you, but they're not like a boss fight. There is no massive thing or whatever. There is no big mission that you get for having to meet these people and then you fight them and you save people or whatever. All the other games have had weird bosses, and they always died in some gruesome, stupid, dumb way. That game was just... no. None of that. I mean, if they do it right, the trope can be entertaining. Dragon Ball did it fine. I think Dragon Ball did it fine. It still had the whole... oh my god, how is this... It's not so much how is the good guys gonna win. For me, it's how is this gonna turn out. Like, we all know the good guy's gonna win. I actually go through it thinking, okay, I know these guys are going to win, but how? This guy seems like a big all be end all. I know this guy's really strong. How are the good team going to win? And that's what excites me more. Because if you think about it and you try to worry like, oh, how is this guy going to, or, you know, the good guys are going to win, that takes away all the stress out of it, or, you know, whatever. Think of it as, how are these guys gonna win? What gets them that win? That is what I look forward to when I watch things like that. Because that actually makes it better for me. Versus, like, oh no, these guys are gonna win. Take all the fun out of it. Take all the fear out of it, or all the, you know, possible threat out of it. Like, when I was reading the Moro arc, which is the most current arc in Super, it's like, okay, how is Goku gonna pull this out of his ass now? This guy has put him into the ropes for some time now. He's transformed, yada yada. Goku gave him a sense of being, yada yada. How is he gonna pull this out of his ass now? Tiger and DR Dead Rising. The guy is not particularly difficult at all. The Tiger, on the other hand, is a pain in the ass. Good writing can save it, yes. The guy with the Tiger, unless you're like really new to Dead Rising, I've been playing Dead Rising since 2006, which is when the first game came out. And trust me, I was bad at it. Like, very bad at it. That game to me is actually harder than Dark Souls, with how good I've become at Dark Souls. Not that Dead Rising's hard for me anymore, but going back on my first 2 playthroughs of these type of games, Dead Rising was definitely the harder of the 2. Just because of its combat. But I enjoyed Dead Rising so much that, like, they're not particularly difficult. There's some fights that I haven't done a lot, and I definitely have not played Dead Rising 2 as much as I have the first one. So I'm a lot better at that. Dead Rising 2 is your first? Dead Rising 2 is a very good Dead Rising to honestly start with, considering Dead Rising 1, while it is my favorite of the 3, or 4, even though I haven't played a lot of Dead Rising 4, Dead Rising 1 is the one that I love the most. It is tougher to get into. It is definitely the hardest one. But I can understand. No, if you're definitely new to it and you have no prior experience, I can understand that. The boss fight is actually fairly easy. Getting the tiger, because you can actually rescue the tiger as a survivor, getting that to happen can be kind of a pain in the ass. You need to feed him 3 meat. Throw down, like, some steaks, because there's a couple steaks nearby in the boss fight that you can pick up. And you have to, like, drop 1 steak, wait for the tiger to literally come and eat it, and there's a few factors involved that'll make him, like, say, fuck you, I'm gonna just bite you. If you're not, I think if you're not positioned right, he'll come and attack you. Or if he's not positioned right, he'll come in and attack you. It's really annoying. It does have connections. They all do. They all connect. All of them connect, really, except for Dead Rising 2 Off the Record. I don't know if you know about Dead Rising 2 Off the Record, but Off the Record is literally just a what-if story with the first game's protagonist. No, they all connect. They all have different Dead Rising 1, 2, and 3 all have different characters, but they all connect in a timeline fashion. They even have characters from prior games, and they reference other events that's happened. Dead Rising 2 will reference Frank West. It'll reference certain events. Dead Rising 3 has the second game's protagonist in it and stuff like that. It also explains a lot of things that happens, and eventually will explain stuff in 4. Oh, so you didn't really kill the fodder zombies. No, not as much as you would think. Half the time, you will see me ignore the zombies for the most part, and just go and do all the missions and fight and fight the psychopaths and rescue the survivors. Like, Dead Rising's one of those games where I prefer missions. Like, I normally don't really care for mission stuff, but it depends on the type of game. If it's GTA missions, no. Dead Rising mission stuff, I love that. I love it. But normally, no, I just go around fighting the psychopaths and rescuing the survivors. That's what I prefer. Like, fighting the zombies is fine and all, but I get very bored of it quick. Crafting system in 2, it seems like the place is not killing. Oh, I'm not doubting that. I'm not doubting that at all. In fact, they reward you more for killing them in 2, only because you get increased experience for it. You've always got experience for certain thresholds of amount of zombies killed. Crafting system just makes that easier, because you get more for killing zombies with combined weapons. The thing is, though, is that you get a lot more for rescuing people. But that's still, like, that's just how I just prefer. To be honest. Like, I don't know. I just prefer to rescue everybody and do all the missions in time. If I spend too much time killing the zombies, then I'm wasting too much time. Plus, Dead Rising 2 off the record, basically, it's the same game as the original 2, except with the first game's protagonist. And it's basically just a what-if, meaning it actually is not canon, because the original Dead Rising 2 is the canon one. There's a sandbox mode that allows you just to fight random survivors, psychopaths, and zombies with no time limit. And there's like little goofy fun missions that you can do, like kill this many amount of zombies with this weapon or whatever. And you get money. That's how you like get money to be able to buy all the different like vehicles or things in the game. See? Another thing why I just ignore the zombies a lot is because I want to focus the story. I want to be able to fight the psychopaths, and if I'm streaming it, I want to show off the content. I want to show me getting everybody. There might be somebody that wants to know where a certain thing is or whatever. But I was busy killing. No, that's, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You do you. There's nothing wrong with that. I usually... See, here's the thing with Dead Rising as well. I don't really use a lot of the weapons, either. I use what I'm comfortable with. Like Dead Rising 1, most way through, I'll use the katana. Dead Rising 2, like the katana and the Bowie knife, I'll use most way through. Dead Rising 2, I use a mixture between the knife, the tenderizers, which is the MMA gloves with nails, baseball bat with nails, and that's basically all I need. Unless I get, like, the padded chainsaw, the chainsaw with the paddles. Or whatever, but I rarely ever use a lot of the weapons. Like, I know Dead Rising 1, like, the back of my hand, for the most part. I know where a good portion of weapons are that are hidden. I know a lot of the times for things. Like, what psychopaths appear. I don't know, like, the times exactly. Like, this guy appears at 10 a.m. on this day, but I know when to get a call. I know which areas to be in for calls. I know where certain survivors are. I don't know the times they appear, but I know where they are. Stuff like that. So I did an entire walkthrough on Dead Rising 1. The only walkthrough I've ever done. And the reason I do that too is just in case someone new to the series wants to come in and watch me, you know, learn how to get everyone. And so that way I can improve on myself as well. Because my recent stream of Dead Rising 2 was the first time I've actually ever rescued all the survivors in one actual run. I've rescued every survivor before, but never in one complete run. And it's just a nice feeling to have. Can you stop being a dick? Oh, you're dodgy. What the hell, man? On top of you being dodgy as hell, you are fast. I forgot how fast you are. don't stagger as easy as I thought you would. Ah! And I am bad at parrying you. You're not even, you're the easier two to parry. I'll be right back. I just can't parry for shit in Bloodborne. Well, hey, if you feel like checking out my complete series on Dead Rising 2, feel free. I've beaten the first Dead Rising 2. I even did the DLC. Because Dead Rising 2 has a standalone... Actually, there's 2 standalone DLCs for Dead Rising 2. Case Zero and Case West. However, if you don't have an Xbox 360, you're not going to be able to play any of those. Because due to copyright reasons, Capcom could not put them onto the PS4. Because those were made by another company called Blue Castle Games, which is no longer in business. Even though I fucked up and died to the final boss, the true final boss, I've never died to him before, and that really made me mad. The final boss of the first game is actually significantly tougher, only because I'm not good with using bare fists. And the final boss of Dead Rising 1 literally gives you it's basically one test to see if you're actually good at using, you know, your bare fists. You know, using all the moves that you've learned throughout the adventure. Why is this guy fucking me up so bad? Hell, why am I bad at parries? I'm trying to shoot earlier so I can get him. There we go. My timing is so bad. He's also fast. Okay. I shot you there. I shot you there. I shot you there, buddy. What the hell am I missing for? Pillars, please. I really need to work on you, you jerk. God, I am terrible at certain fights. He's not even that difficult, I'm just bad at certain boss fights. Oops, I went the wrong way. I am not great at him, though. I never have been. Bloodborne's parries is not something I feel I can get better at, though. I've already hit the cap that I'm not gonna cheat with it. It's just... I feel like the timing for Dark Souls, even 2 and 3, are a lot more comfortable than Bloodborne's, for me. Caught up by his swordsman. Yeah. He's fucking fast. And that's not a problem. There's a lot of fast enemies and bosses in these games, but it's just like... half the time I dodge, I feel like I'm dodging, and he's fucking... I'm getting caught up in the... Oh my... What the fuck was that? I should have rolled after my attack, but I did not think I was dropping by a group of 50 enemies that are gonna fucking all hit me at once. Every time I feel like I'm good at a game, I always get told by the game that, no, you're never good enough. Everything I do, every game I play, I always just eventually just get told, oh, you think you're good at the... You think you're pretty good, but you're not that good. I can just never feel like I'm fucking fantastic at these games. Ugh, it annoys me. I really wish I was better. Why is it there's some bosses that I'm just phenomenal at, but then there's some bosses that I'm just ass at, and I don't get better at? Or there's just some versions that, yes, I get they have more health and they are do more damage, but they just literally, some of them just literally feel downright more annoying to me. Like, I've had no problems hitting the earlier versions of that fight. And, you know, even dodging some of his attacks. I do get hit by him quite a bit, but I have no problem tearing him apart early on when I'm weaker, far weaker. But that version of that fight, or later versions of that fight, for some reason I'm just really fucking terrible at. Hello? Can you hit... God, die. By far, but that's all he is. He's the same, though. Stronger or no, if you're good at a fight regardless, like, not that I'm good at him, but even if you're good at a fight and they're stronger, you're still gonna know the fight, though. Like, for instance, Bloodstarved Beast. There's several variations of Bloodstarved Beast that's way tougher in here, but I still know that fight. The making him the same as regardless. Like, I should... If I have no problems with his weaker variants to the point where... Yeah, I can dodge somewhat. I'm still pretty bad at him, but I should not have... I have more trouble with him, though, is what I mean. Like, I get fucked. Like, he hits me more. And he downright destroys me. The original, earlier variants of him, I don't get as beaten up as bad. And it's not the amount of damage he does that I'm talking about. It's just that he hits me more. Or he just downright destroys me, and I do terrible. My combat is worse, is what I'm getting at. I'm still not good at the Cimmerian guys, though, at all. And he is, to me, the easier of the two, and I might be retracting that statement. I don't know anymore. This might be the stream where I die to Yarnum. The first time I fought her offline. Well, off camera. I stopped doing YouTube at that point, and the first time I fought her for myself. The second time I fought her with Zero on a co-op. Both times I beat her first try. I came close to death in my original playthrough fight with her, just because I got careless and was kind of rushing her end there, but I still managed to pull off the win first try. Hell, I beat Orphan of Kos first try as well. That should be on my YouTube. That, my blind playthrough of the old Hunter's Guild. If anything is blind of Bloodborne, I believe it's the old Hunter's DLC. I think. I could be wrong. Because my main character has beaten the game, I think, a handful of times before the old Hunters came out. So if I would have went on my main character, I would have been on New Game 3 or 4. And no thanks. I mean, I get that he was a stressful fight. I mean, he definitely had me on the ropes a bit, I believe, if I recall. I don't remember, honestly. I just remember beating both his first and second phase in one try. And then, like, Ludwig gave me, like, 2 or 3 tries, but I bested his second phase in the attempt that I got to it, so... Like, I don't know. His second phase is actually, in my opinion, far easier. But... Like, I only died a handful of times to his first fight, and then got to his second phase, and then beat him right then and there. And as for Lawrence... Oh, God. Lawrence. Lawrence has kicked my ass more times than I can care to count. Oh, hi! Hello? But to be fair, though, I've only fought Orphan Accost by myself that one time. And as for Maria and the failures, well... Let's just say the failures is the second hardest fight in the DLC, for me. Maria's easy, but, like, I'll probably die a handful of times to her, but I find Maria easy. Like, living failures I find pretty difficult only because there's so many of them. And there's a lot to manage. Orphan Accost is relentless, though. Like, I guarantee you I'm not going to be the same as I once was. I got very lucky. I gotta say, like, yeah, there's a bit of skill there, but a lot of it was luck, too. And luck, yes, is just as good as skill, but I prefer skills over luck, only because I feel like luck can easily blind you in thinking you're actually decent. Because I don't want to be beating everything by luck. That last fight was kind of luck. Like, while I was getting some parries off, I feel like a lot of it was kind of luck. Like, that's why I try always to improve myself. And my playstyle is in your face, and that's why I get hit more than I should be. Unfortunately, that's my playstyle. I'm always aggressive, and Bloodborne reward you for being very aggressive. But I definitely am a little too aggressive. Even in Dark Souls, I'm very aggressive. And that game is more shield and... is more sword and board or shield, sword and shield, where it's kind of like bait and wait. Yeah, they're kind of like a Rom emissary fight, just less annoying than Rom. They're... Yeah, it's definitely Living Failures meets, or it's definitely Emissary with Rom when it comes to their attack style. You got the multitude of the Emissary and you got the attacks of Rom. I definitely kind of a hit and run thing. Yet there's no main body, kind of like how Rom is the main body and the spiders are the grunts. But it's kind of like you gotta hit and run. Did I get the big chest? Like, I don't even recall. I think I did, actually. I was so busy chatting. I think it was that room. That big room I was just in. I blanked. See, that's my autopilot. That's why my memory is trash. Because a lot of the times I'm on autopilot and I do not observe my surroundings. That's why my short-term memory is ass. And that's why I will never memorize locations. Because a lot of the times, especially for a first playthrough, a lot of the times I find things by accident. And I don't recall their locations because I don't pay attention to my surroundings. I am not observant, and it's not something I tend to do, but it's unfortunately, if it's not something that I'm caring about, I will not focus it. Like, if I'm grabbing something at work, I'm not going to sit there and pay attention to something else around me. Even if it pertains to another thing that has to do with it. If that makes sense. Because there's several different things at work that I gotta grab and make sure I put on the truck. And if I'm trying to grab one thing that has to do, and I'll literally not pay attention to another thing that has to do with it. Because that's not my focus at that time. Like, I'm not observant. And if like in Mario, there's a few times in Mario where they're like quizzing you. Like half the time I'm playing the game, I'm not noting the colors of certain characters' eyes or surroundings or whatever, or people will notice things in the background or whatever. Half the time I'm just paying attention to the story and the characters themselves. I'm not actually paying attention to what they look like or anything like that. So when a thing does that, and it's just like, why do I care? Like, for instance, in Sekiro, if you go to the hub, there's the talismans that are on the building. I did not notice this until near the end of the game. I believe it was near the end of the game. It might have been sooner, but there's definitely a moment in my stream where I'm like, there's talismans on this building? I am not observant. I'm good at looking in every nook and cranny. Yeah, I do miss still a lot, but I'll look at a lot of nooks and crannies and not actually pay attention to where I found some of these things for future use, like whenever I was looking for certain NPCs that, you know, the guy that sells you the firecrackers and all. I always have trouble finding them still because I don't make note of their location. I just kind of find them. Some NPCs, I'll be like, okay, I know where they are. But for some reason, I just derp on certain things like that. Like Dark Souls, I know of all their NPCs' locations just because I played it enough, but like still, I don't, like my first playthrough, I don't know things like that. Like I still have, oh fuck. For the Forbidden Woods, the second elevator shortcut, I still forget to get it sometimes because I don't really pay attention to where it's located a lot of the times. I end up forgetting that where it is exactly. So I kind of like follow the building where it is and then find it that way. Because I always am just bad at that. I don't make note of things. When I find things the first time on accident, I don't make note of things. Like, for instance, the final boss of Bloodborne. When the chick tells you that German's waiting for you at the Great Tree. I didn't even know that there was a gate. I'm pretty sure I found it at one point. But, like, when I first played it, I did not know what she was talking about. I actually looked up while I was watching Lobos stream Bloodborne. That's how I found that. Instead of looking for myself. Because I was looking all in the wrong directions instead of going out that one way by where she is. I was like, the fuck? I did not know of that gate. Even though I did find it prior, and I do remember me finding it at one point. That's just how bad I am with observation. I did not know... I know I found that gate prior, but I didn't know there was a tree. I didn't know what she meant by that at first. And I feel terrible. And I admit this. I am stupid, terrible, and bad at observation. I am slow. Very slow. And I hate admitting this, because now I feel judged. And I feel like I'm... just should not be playing video games. But that's my... That's my anxiety. Now, I feel like people are judging. I feel like everyone's judging me for everything I do. That's my anxiety. That doesn't mean that you are. I just feel like I have to be perfect. I have to do this good. I have to be this good. Or no one wants to watch me. That's how I feel. That doesn't mean it's true. That just means that I want whore. That's fine. I permitted the use of whore. Why do I have that blocked? I don't know. Maybe it's just to prevent people from being jerks. Maybe whore shouldn't be a word I block. Maybe that's just an auto thing and not something I intend to added, but... Maybe it's just so I don't just have someone fighting somebody in my chat and get called a whore. But yeah. Yes, anxiety is a whore, and that won't stop. But that also won't stop me from feeling that way. Because I feel like I need to be perfect, and it's not just for streaming. Yeah, someone uses it in a bad way. Oh, I've had people use the N-word before in my chat. I've actually had someone spell out the N-word in another word, and I read it out loud, not realizing that's what he was saying until I've actually said it. He used the word knee and grow in a sentence. Like your knee, as in a kneecap, and grow, as in to get taller or bigger. And I did not think about it until I read it aloud. And I immediately banned him. But yeah, no. That's the last thing I need. I've had people troll me before. Last thing I need is someone else to fight in chat, calling someone a slut or a whore. But no, it's just, I just feel like I need to be perfect. But that's not just for this, it's for my personal life. While you are getting, this is also my personal life, but what I mean is like in my everyday personal life in person, while I'm at work or at home or with my friends or family. I feel like if I don't do something good enough, I fail. And that's why I say the things that I do. And I know people get scared off by it. It's not something you should really do, but I am me. This is what I mean by this is my personal life. Unfortunately, I don't have much of a life outside of gaming or work. Because I'm a shut-in, and I'm fine with that. I prefer that. I don't like to be out. I don't enjoy being out. I prefer to just be laying in bed or playing video games. That's where I find the most enjoyment. And I'm happy, and I'm calm. I don't like people. I've been hurt, pushed away, laughed at, made fun of, ridiculed, all that my whole life. I get tired of it. It stresses me out. But I feel like I am not perfect when it comes, if I don't do something right, I feel like I need to be perfect, is what I meant to say. I feel like if I get help for something that I don't deserve, I deserve to fail. I don't like help, because then it just basically tells me that I'm not good enough to do anything on my own. That's just me. I have a lot of issues and problems. That's what you get for when you're literally the laughingstock of everyone around you. The odd one out, the weirdo, the person that everyone picks on and makes fun of and hurts and bullied. And I was never one for really taking criticism very well, nor am I good at taking jokes very well. I've always been the one who's always overly sensitive. I've always been sensitive. That's why it upsets me whenever anyone says anything, a lot of the times. People can literally tell me the moniker of get good in this and I'd get upset by it. When I die 100 times, people could just tell me to be better. Or you suck. And I take it to heart. I don't mean to. I'm easily stressed. And easily upset. Look onto what's in front of you. Is there anything you do to feel better when you're feeling depressed? Asking because I get that way. I just watch videos and just maybe talk to a friend. If you have a very close friend, I usually would talk to maybe Zero, or you know, I just watch YouTube videos or anime and just not think about it and just sit there and just try to enjoy whatever you're doing. Or I used to smoke weed. Now I just smoke some tobacco if I'm feeling stressed out. But not everyone has that, so without that, I normally just watch anime and maybe talk to Zero, like your closest friend, people that you know wouldn't judge you. Because I have a few friends, like I said, who I can't tell things about me just because then I would fear losing them. And yeah, I guess you can say that they're not your good friends or anything. Well, they've been there my whole life. They may be the kind of people that would maybe judge me. And at this point, my childhood has got me too wrapped up in that fear that, fuck, I'm not going to tell some of these people. Just because I don't really, there's no point. I've hit a lot of my things in life for so long that I'm just afraid of telling a lot of people. And the reason why I'm more okay with telling strangers is because if they judge me, fine, they don't know me. But my fiance and my mom I can talk to, but all my buddies from high school are busy with their lives. Yeah, no, I can understand that. Same with my buddy Zero. He's got a family. He's my high school buddy. But he's always there to talk to me about anything if I need someone to talk to. I may not be able to just like call him straight up and be like, "Hey, this girl I dated for this amount of years broke my heart," but I will tell him like, "Oh, well, me and the girl just broke up and I was in love. Now I'm stressed out and I literally don't know what to do." Because like whenever I get dumped or broken up from a relationship that's lasted a few years, because I've had 2 of those in my life, to where I was like, that's all, like, they were everything to me, and they were, you know, there's a possibility that we could have been together for the rest of our lives. But it didn't happen, and, like, the stress had me so brokenhearted that I literally just couldn't focus on playing games. I just wanted to lay there and mope and die. And I know that's what a lot of people go through when they're broken up or hurt from that, but, like, I literally just cannot do anything. Everything stresses me out. Everything makes me think about that. Especially if it has something to do with that we used to do in the past. Like, me and one of my exes used to play Final Fantasy together. We played Final Fantasy X-2 together. Like, I couldn't even play that or think about Final Fantasy at all. I couldn't even watch anime at all because she liked Inuyasha. Inuyasha's my favorite anime. I couldn't even watch that. And, like, I couldn't even think about it. Like, going to school or playing Pokemon just made me think of her because we met at school. We played Pokemon together. We did a lot of the stuff together. And I could not do any of that. But, like, I used to talk to my buddy about it all the time, saying, like, you know, he's helped me through a lot of my relationship issues. And he's gotten me over it. So, if anything, talking to your friends, even if they don't have the time to really spend on a full-on conversation for, like, 3 hours with you, just know that you can at least get it off your chest, you know, for, like, a good week. Just talk to them, like, a bit here and there about it, you know. Just... it helps a lot. And, you know, talking to your parents about it. Close relatives, whatever. It's always best to at least talk to somebody. I have 2 close friends and my relatives that I can easily talk to about these things. Even though I usually try not to talk to my parents about these kind of stuff. I usually prefer to keep that with my friends and me. Just because it feels weird just going straight up in the details about, you know, how broken I am with a girl dumping me with my parents. It just feels awkward to me. I just don't feel like crying to them. I'd rather cry to my friends, if that makes sense. Yeah, basically. I'll relax, I'll watch something, or I'll listen to music. Ultimately sad music, but it still helps distract me to an extent. Or I'll play, like, if I find something I can play, it's usually a handheld game. Just that way I can just relax in bed and play something. Like, if I can't play a game that has something to do with them, I'll usually try to find a handheld game I can play that I can just relax in bed and just listen to some YouTube videos. And just take my mind off of it. And the physical pain of getting torn apart like that hurts a lot. And, oh god, the physical and emotional pain. Just feeling 2 types of pain from heartbreak really sucks. And I've only dated a handful of women, but the 2 that I've dated for over 2 years, almost 3 years, just the feeling of just the turmoil of physical, emotional heartbreak, and the physical heartbreak and the emotional heartbreak is just not something I want to ever go through again. And I know it's going to happen because I'm not gonna, like, never date again, but it's just not something I wish on anybody. But yeah, that's all I really do is if I have no time to talk to somebody, try to pick up something that can get your mind off of it. Even if it's reading or, you know, playing a game on a handheld that can maybe just so you can just relax and lay in bed so you're not just sitting in a chair or something. You know. Watch some videos. Put on some entertaining person that will make you laugh. Usually for me it's Soul Runners or, you know, streamers or other games of types that I enjoy watching. Just that way it's goofy commentary. For me it's usually just commentary. I can't just watch a stream or a person play a game with no talking. They'll usually keep my mind off of it. For a little while at least. That or I'll just sleep. And then I'll wake up in the morning feeling like poop, but I repeat that. And eventually it just it diminishes day by day. Trust me, it's taken me a few years to fully get over a few of my exes, and even now I still think about them. I still miss them, both my exes, to this day. But it's life. Like, I've had dreams the other day of one of them, so I don't know where it's coming from. I rarely even remember my dreams at this point.